Welcome to Acliff Physiotherapy YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do for you a short yoga sequence, and it was inspired by the day, which has just been the most beautiful spring day. So I've brought you out here into my garden to go through some nice moves, nice breath. So all my lovely yogis who join me every week on the mat, let's get started. Let's come into 4-point kneeling. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. We'll just start with cat-cow. Let's get the spine nicely moving. Big breath in. Big breath out. Push the backbone up to the sky. Feel the air with a big breath in. Big breath out. Let's keep going. Big breath in. Try and find a little bit more movement through that back. Big breath out. One more time. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's flow this from 4-point kneeling back into child's pose. So we bring the breath in, scoop and lift up, big breath in. Big breath out. Tailbone scoops back and sit down onto the knees. Child's pose. Breath in, scoop and lift. Breath out. Breath in. Keep going. Use your breath. Breath out. Last one. Big breath in. Big breath out. Stay in child's pose. Stay here. Let your head relax. Allow the head to sink to the ground. Feel the earth underneath you. And just feel that breath really grounding you into the floor that's underneath you. Come back up to 4-point kneeling. Tuck your toes underneath and let's come into down dog. Push the tailbone up to the sky. Press down through your hands. Push away from the ground. Bend your knees if you need. Find length through the spine. Stay here. Big breath. From here, let's walk forward into a ragdoll fold. Forward fold. Let your hands just fold. Let your back relax. Let your head be soft and heavy. Use breath to feel the ground underneath you. Unfold the hands. Come to half lift. Feel long through the neck. Release and soften. Soften the knees, soften the body. A big breath in as you come all the way up. Bring the hands up to the sky, especially if you're outdoors. And bring your hands down to your heart. Stay here into Dasana with hands at heart. Just feel the breath underneath your thumbs. We're going to do sun salutation A. Take a breath in. Breath out. Slice down. Soften your knees. Breath in. Half lift. Breath out. Release. Step back into plank pose. This time we're going to lower ourselves all the way down to the mat. Push up through the body into cobra stretch. open through the heart space. Breath out takes you back. Push back up into downward facing dog. Press your hands down into the ground. Your feet down and feel the ground underneath you. Press away from the floor. Soften your knees if you need. Let's walk forward. Forward fold. Half lift, long neck. Release down. Breath in takes us up. Hands to heart. And again, breath in. Breath out. Half lift. Breath out. Step back into plank pose. Lower down all the way to the ground. Cobra stretch. Breath in. Drop the shoulders, open the heart space, long necks. Breath out. Breath in takes you all the way back up into downward facing dog. Five breaths here. Let the head relax. Tailbone to the sky. Walk the feet forward between your hands. Forward fold. Half lift. Release all the way up. Breath out, hands to heart. And again, breath in. Breath out all the way down. Half lift. And release. Step back into plank pose. This time, yogi's choice. You can either do what we've just done before or go down, dropping the knees down, dropping halfway down, tuck the toes and then push yourself back up to upward facing dog. Come back down into downward facing dog. Push the tailbone to the sky. Big breath. This time you can either keep walking hands to feet or bend your knees generously, look between your hands and float to the top of your mat. Half lift. Release down, soften the knees, let the head relax. Big breath in as we come up, hands to the sky, hands to the heart. One more time, big breath in. Breath out all the way down. Soften the head. Half lift. Release. Step back into plank pose. Drop the knees, lower down or go all the way to the floor, whichever you wish. Lift up. Push back into downward facing dog. Big breath here. Feel grounded through your hands, through your feet. Tailbone to the sky. Bend your knees, walk or hop to the front of your mat. Half lift. Soften and release. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's do sun salutation B now. That's the one we do with warrior one. And we'll just do it nice and slowly to begin with. Breath in. Breath out takes you down. Half lift. Release your head, soften. Step back into plank pose. Drop the knees and lower yourself down. Push back up into upward facing dog. Bring it back to downward facing dog. Step forward with your right foot. Come up into warrior one. Remember with warrior one, your pelvis is facing forward. That back foot is about 45 degrees. Bring it back down to the ground. Step back, drop your knees, lower down, come up into upward facing dog or cobra, back into downward facing dog. Step your left leg forward, come up into warrior one. Bring it it back down, step it back, drop the knees, lower down, back up into upward facing dog. Bring it back down into downward facing dog. Stay here, push away from the ground, nice deep breathing. Find that breath right into the base of those lungs. Bend your knees, hop forward, half lift. Release down. All the way up. Hands to heart. Breath in. Breath out. Step or hop back. Drop the knees. Lower down. Come back up into upward dog. Back into downward facing dog. Bring your right foot forward. Come up into warrior one. Back down to the ground, step back. Drop the knees. Lower down, come up into upward dog. And back down into downward facing dog. Step forward with the left foot. Push through the ground to get up into warrior one. Bring it back down to the floor. Bring it back. Drop the knees. Lower down, come into upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Stay here. Bend both knees. Hop or walk to the front of your mat. Half lift. Melt down and all the way up. Bring your hands to your heart. Well done, yogis.